Okay. What's up, family? I'm just leaving out the store. I think I've showed enough information to convince you that we just got to do a little better. We have to think differently. We have to start the process of having our own and practicing group economics for the survival of our people. We can no longer continue the practice of we can no longer continue the practice of economic suicide, depending on others for our survival. We can't do this no more. And now, if you're comfortable, if you are comfortable with economic suicide, then continue down that path that you've been on for as long as you can remember. But I am no longer comfortable with practicing economic suicide because, again, a people who will depend on others for their existence, they are practicing economic suicide. And we can no longer practice economic suicide. We got to get off of this codependency on others to do for us what we can do for ourselves. So again, I've left at least 2 videos, okay? And I've left some salutes, some things that we can start doing right now. Right now, family. It's just that serious. And I know that some of us just want things to go back to the way they used to be. Can't wait to have the old ways back. You're never going to see those old ways again, family. You're never going to see those old ways again. Okay? I can't even find words, family, as to if we don't begin to take this thing. Here it is. For me, this is beyond the coronavirus and maintaining social distance and to me, it's bigger than that. It's much bigger than safety. Watch this. When I did policing for 20-something years, and we brainstormed about how to best go about affecting communities, we looked at everything, not just one thing. We just can't look at social distancing and don't deal with the economics of the social distancing. We can't just think about social distancing and forgetting that we have elders. We have elders who need to be checked up on. We have elders. You better be very careful about your social distance to the point where there's somebody dead in the house and you won't go check on them and see them because you're trying to practice some social distance. Now watch this. I'll never forget the first dead body I found as a police officer. The first stinker, my first stinker. We call them stinkers. I'm talking about people who've been dead for a long time, a couple of weeks. And this was a woman who lived on 12th Street, the 1200 block of 12th Street. No, the 3600 blocks of 12th Street, in the Brooklyn area. She'd had a stroke and a heart attack. She died in the living room. I remember me and Nicole Green was together. Nicole Green, a former police officer, got the call for that stinker. And when we hit that door to do a check and advise, and all you saw was flies and just roaches and the smell of the body. If you, the smell of a dead body is like if you put ground beef and mashed potatoes in the same bag and just leave it out on the counter for days. And then when you open it up, that's the smell of a dead body. Ground beef and white potatoes in the same bag, left out, not refrigerated, sealed for a couple of days, and then open that bag. That's what it smelled like. It was just that foul. And so we had to identify who this woman was. So we had to go through the house and find out, who is this woman who had a stroke and a heart attack? And the flies and the bugs was going in and out her mouth, her nose, and the ears. You don't forget stuff like this, family. And I had to go upstairs, and I went to one of her drawers, and I found her DMV license. Well, not license. It was an identification card. And you know who she was a member of church of? She was a member of Bible Way Church, right there on New Jersey Avenue. I'll never forget it. This woman had been dead in her house for 2 weeks. I can put a name on there. Dead in her house for 2 weeks. So if all, I say that to say this, you guys talking about some damn social distancing. Don't you allow social distance to cut off your family members and not check on the welfare to make sure they're doing okay. Don't allow this social distancing to keep you from checking on the welfare of your family, your uncles, your aunties, your mothers, your fathers, your grandmas, your grandfathers, your cousins. Okay? I'll never forget that story because, again, I was familiar with Bible Way at that time. It was Apostolic Church. Okay? Okay? But to know that even in the churches aren't looking out for their people. No one checked on her. No one checked on her. So again, like I said in my previous video, we got to get back to trusting and talking to one another if we're going to beat this. We don't have the luxury, family, of being isolated and cutting family and friends off anymore. This is about the survival of a species. This is about the survival of Native African Americans. And let me be very clear when I say this. Everybody in America can go back to another country or continent or nation, even the ones who've been here for centuries, born and raised here, but they tell you quick, they're Irish, they're Scottish, they're Italian, that they can go back to their place of origin, right? Guess what? The foundation of Black Americans, Native African Americans, are the only group of people in the world, in this country, who do not have a land to go back to, except for this land right here. Even my Caribbean brother can go back to the Caribbean. My West Indian sister can go back to West India. My Trini can go back to Trini. My Guyanese can go back to Ghana. Native African Americans, foundational Black Americans can't go back nowhere. So this is what we got. This is it. This is ours. This is us. This is home for us. And if it's going to be home for us, then damn it, we need to own everything in this country. Or at least 13% of everything should be owned by us. So we're at a reset, family. We're at a reset in America. Do you hear me? We're officially where all things are equal right now in America. All things are equal right now. It's time for us to do for self. It's time for us to start talking to one another again. Start trusting. Start loving. Start checking on one another. And do what's necessary to survive this famine, this coronavirus, this episode. It's time to stop being the person who you were prior to corona and be something different. Be more responsible. Be more caring. Be more loving. Be more giving. The scripture says this: when Jesus looked at the multitude, he was moved with compassion. When was the last time you was moved with compassion when you saw what's going on around you and you said, what can I do to change this? What can I do to help this? This is what we need from you right now. I eat, I sleep, wondering what can I do to help us weather this storm, weather this famine, weather this pandemic. So when I come to you, yes, many of you guys know me as Jay or whatever, but I'm on a whole different frequency. When I see you in public or on social media, I see myself. When I see you, I see myself. And in me seeing myself, I don't want no harm to you because I don't want no harm to myself. I'm trying to keep it real. If we start the process of when we see each other, our family members, we begin to see ourselves, then you don't want no harm to happen to you, to nobody who you come in contact with. But we have to start loving on one another like never before. We have to start the process of sharing, caring, giving to one another like never before. We got to find somebody who we trust, who can help us put this supply line in order, put this distribution centers in order. Look, we have to create our own distribution centers. We have to create our own distribution centers within the community, within the county, nationwide. Okay? It's just that serious, family. It's just that serious. So please, stop thinking that things are going to go back to what they used to. They're not. Stop being selfish. Stop being mean. Fam, we need you to, I need you to think, I need you to really, really consider how serious this is. Not just the corona and how it's killing. Look here, that brother who just passed away, Terrence, from Northwestern, that was my man. Terrence. At this brother, at the Three Brothers. Not Three Brothers, at the Italian Inn. Peace be upon Terrence. Good dude. I just saw him 2 weeks ago. We evolved from the Italian and the Three Brothers. We hear other places we went to. That thing is real close to home. Another good friend of mine, Brother Sam, just called me about 2 weeks ago and said, Jay, I got that bug. I said, what? And he's an older man. Sam got to be about 70 years old. Terrence could have been them one about 56. Good dudes. I think Sam's gonna beat this. He's gonna beat this. But he called me to let me know, Jay, I got it. I said, well, what they tell you to do? They gave him some liquids. Gave him some vitamin C. They sent them home. They don't have a cure for this thing. But I'm saying to you, we have to start thinking different. We have to start doing things different. Yes, Cookie Sam's okay. I talked to him. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. He caught it early. look, again, I've been making multiple videos. You see me come on, just know I'm about that business of trying to enlighten you, empower you, educate you. Uh, yes, I can talk about the issues all day, but I'm trying to offer some solutions right now, family. Okay, again, uh, some of your giants right now. If you're looking for some tissue, some toiletries, Giant does have some. One off 228 has some. I believe the one off of 301 have some too. But they're limiting 2 per person. They have some water, 2 per person. Okay, but again, just get what you can, get and come back the next day, get what you can, and start thinking about the process of distribution centers that we have to do among ourselves, among our people. Because I'm telling you, when this thing hit where the Asians and Latinos would tell you can't come inside our stores, it's going to happen, and you can't go nowhere else. We have to make sure we have what we have so we can still be able to meet the needs in our families and our communities. And it's just that serious, family. It's just that serious. And if you're in that military, if you're a military person and you know about the art of war and you know about supplies distribution, we really need to get together, sit down and brainstorm and figure out how do we put strategies and plans in place to make sure that we all have what we need to weather this storm. That's where my head is right here. God, give me the information, give me the wisdom, give me the knowledge to be able to help to lead our people in these times of famine and disease. This is where your head need to be. It's not on the parties. It's not on hanging out. How can I help meet the needs of not just my family, not just my neighborhood, not just my community, not just my county, not just the state, but the nation and the world? It's just that serious. It's just that serious. Do we have any Josephs in the house? Do we have any Josephs in the house? Joseph, who was ostracized, sold away from his brothers, picked up, became a slave, got favor in the house, went to jail, got favor in the jail, stood before the king, the Pharaoh, and got favor before the Pharaoh, and was given number 2 in command of all resources. Okay? So please, family, we've been looking for leadership, and look at where we are right now. By we looking for what we've always had a solution. But because we conceded to somebody else to do what we knew to do, look at the situation we're in right now. I got to go to other stores to show you that everybody else is thriving, and the black community got to go outside their neighborhoods or the communities just to find survival stuff because we don't have our own. Okay? It's just that serious, family. Just that serious. I'm taking this thing so serious because I don't think you are ready to see carnage. The dead people everywhere. I don't think you're ready for that. But that's why they get that old what's that series I was talking about, The Walking Dead, on, to condition you, get you ready for the carnage. Getting you ready for the carnage so you can see the death and the destruction. I mentioned that Bible Way elder because she had to be about 70. She had to be about 70 years old, and was dead in the house for weeks because the churches at the time, and still do, was practicing social distance. We got to be careful about this social distance where we're disconnected from our own people, and You come find out later on that if you had just called this person or checked on them, they may be alive today. So again, I'm gonna leave this video right here. I need you to share it. And every time I come on, I'm coming on with some fire. I'm coming on with purpose. I'm coming on with how can we make it through this famine, make it through this pandemic, because I'm not trusting the government. I'm not waiting on no check. The scripture says this: greater is he that's within me than he that's in the world. Say this again. Greater is he that's within me than he that's within the world. God has given us the solutions. We need to stop waiting on other people to do what we can do ourselves. Trust the God in you. Push beyond your insecurities. Push beyond your hate. Push beyond your, I don't like this person, I don't like that group. Push beyond that, because this is about self-preservation, family. Sean said, I've been making masks for the homeless. Yes, feeding them and giving them gloves. It's so serious, but even with social distancing, can't read all that. We have to look out. Yes, Sean, I'm with you 100%. Watch this. Some of us right now are being homeless. Hours. And some of us right now are homeless. At home. Family, a lot of these jobs are not coming back. A lot of these jobs are not coming back. We haven't seen the carnage from this. We haven't seen the carnage. But I'm optimistic. I know that everything we need is within ourselves. Everything. We have the greatest problem-solving mechanism right here. Our greatest wealth is in our mind. Look here, you can have all the minerals in the ground all you want. If you don't know how to tap into it and get them, it's just minerals. It's just minerals. But right here, the mind. Once you tap into the problem-solving aspects of your mind, and you start coming up with ideas, strategies to extract those resources, to extract those minerals, that's where the wealth is right there. It's right here. It's in the mind, family. So again, we have a lot to do. Every hour is important. Every hour is important. Every minute is important. We need to be planning, how do we survive this pandemic? We need our own supply lines. We need our own safe houses. A safe house, like an Underground Railroad, a safe house, where we can have our own goods, our own ammunition, our own weapons to protect whatever we have to protect. It's just that serious. So again, I'm not going to hold you. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Share this video. Share the last 3 videos. Again, you need to see that the other areas and other cultures are working together for their survival, and we must do that. We must practice the same thing. We are creative people. Oh no, yes we are. I can show you how you can do something that matters. Sean, you may have to go live and do a watch party and begin the process of showing people how to survive, make these masks. The beauty about social media and the information age is this. Once I go live, I'm right there in your house. I'm in your kitchen. I'm in your bedroom. I'm in your living room. I'm in your dining room. I'm face to face with you. I don't have to necessarily touch you physically, but I can touch you with the images. In your hand right now, I am holding a billion. You got a cell phone? You have access to the whole world. This is not just no telephone. This is a computer. You have a $1 billion piece of software in your hand. God asked Moses, what's in your hand? What's in your hand? Moses had a rod. But that rod, if you believe, whether it's an allegory or story, guess what? That rod, he was whipping that rod and casting up famines and casting up pestilence and all types of stuff, striking and waters which receive. You subscribe to those scriptures like that. So I'm asking you, what is in your hand? What do you have that you know that we need? This is not time to be selfish. And if you don't have nothing, then it's time for you to recreate yourself. Recreate, become something different. If your job's shut down, now it's time for you to go back to your old hustling days. If you had to survive, if you had to make it for your children, what would you do? What would you do? I used to hustle back in the day. Hustling some of the smartest dudes out there. Because it's always about thinking about how to make that money, how to get that product out there, how to get new product. This is time to release the hustle. Release that hustle. But don't just think about for yourself. Think about for your family, for your neighborhood, for your cousins, for this state, for this county, for the nation, family. It's big. I'm praying right now that God will release creativity is to help us as a people, because this is about self-preservation. And I'm going to tell you again, don't be upset and don't be surprised if the Asians or the Latinos or the Jews, anybody decide that they're not going to sell their goods to us because they must look out for their own. The scripture says charity starts at home, then it spreads. I can't fault them for saying I gotta look at our own first. I can't sell to you. Because we haven't did what was necessary as a black community to make sure we have the 13% of everything this nation has. Okay? So with that said, be serious, stay serious, be ready, don't get ready. Open up your mouth, start talking to your family, your friends, and your enemies. And let's create these supply lines. Let's build these safe houses, okay, where we'll be able to go to and get whatever we need. And you find somebody who you trust, who you willing to turn some of your goods over to, so we can have somebody who can monitor what's going on, who can pass this stuff out, distribute as need be to everybody, so we all have. So we don't have to go about the process of having to kill each other for stuff that we could have just been sharing the whole time. The greatest thing about this whole pandemic, it is bringing us together. It's showing us, you know what? Stop being individuals. Think as a collective. Stop being a family and think as a collective. Say this again. I got a hand. I got 4 fingers, 1 thumb. My pinky can't tell the thumb, I don't need you. Okay? All my fingers need each other. A thumb can't form a fist by itself. So stop thinking as individuals. Stop thinking as individuals. Come together as a hand. Form a fist. Unite. We're strong. Then we are divided. We've been divided too long. No more individualism. The day is over. Okay? myself, but you know what? Sometimes you learn through repetition. Actually, you learn through repetition all the time. Okay? We can do this. We have to do this. We're going to do this. Or you're going to die trying. We're going to do it or we're going to die trying. Okay? So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I need you to share this video. I need you to start to think different. I need you to know this, that greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. I need you to stop looking for politicians, your rappers, your entertainers, your sports personalities. Stop looking to your pundits, the people the people who they've given to us, your comedians. Stop looking to these people for directions, and you be the leader that you was called to be. You was born for this situation. You was born for this. Now solve the problem. Solve the problem. Let's go to work. You got my number. You got my number. You got my email address, JUANJOHN29@gmail.com. JUANJOHN29@gmail.com. It's time to get serious. And it's time to release the creative genius within yourselves. Stop looking for somebody else to do something that you was called to do. You the Joseph now. You're the Josephs. Everybody under the sound of my voice are Josephs, who were called to make a difference, who were called to solve the problems, who were called to make sure that we as a people survive this pandemic, this famine, this drought. You got to go back and read Genesis 41, read the whole story of Joseph, how he was betrayed, how he was sold, how he bounced back, how he became a leader. You go back and read it. And then you internalize that, and you become or the Josephines. There's some females out there, or the Josephines, okay? But whatever you're called to do, now, don't wait. With that said, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. I pray nothing but God's speed, God's health, God's happiness upon your life. I want you to be happy, healthy, successful, joyful, unlimited resources, and a whole lot of money to come your way in this drought, in this famine, in this pandemic. I want that for you. With that said, I'm out. Stay encouraged. You see the street, say something to me. No more mean mugging. No more mean. We don't have the luxury for that. Open your mouth. Speak. It's about survival, family. And what's the song? Only the strong will survive. With that said, remember this. It is not how much you know. It's how much you care. Again, go to YouTube. Subscribe to me. 1,000 subscribers. So I can go live whenever I want to on YouTube without having to use my laptop. I'm out. I love you. Stay encouraged. Thank you all for tuning in. Go back and hear the video. The last two videos I just posted with me at the Jumbo and showing you that they loaded with food. Okay? With that said, I'm out. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. I'm out.